Hi, Poppy. That looks good. You'll be fine for the show tonight.
I hope so, Joe. I can't wait. I'm dancing outside to make sure I don't swing round and break something, like I did when I was practicing for the school show last year. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember. It was Mum's favourite vase, wasn't it? You got so upset even though Mum said it was an accident and couldn't be helped.
And the next day, when Mum was upset and Dad said he was leaving, I thought it was all my fault because of the vase. I didn't want Dad to leave. Him and Mum hadn't been arguing, so we both just didn't understand why it was happening, did we? They said none of it was my fault, and that they loved me and you. But if they did, why did they have to split up? I was just so confused. They said you and me would be staying here with Mum, and Dad would be living with Jess. But we'd see him lots. You were really lovely to me. And you gave me a hug and told me it was going to be okay. But it didn't feel like it was going to be. I know that they didn't tell us anything sooner because they didn't want to upset us. But I felt angry and hurt that they planned all this without talking to us.
Yes, we were both really sad, weren't we? I remember that you wanted to see Dad, but not at Jess's house, and you didn't want to meet her at first because you were upset that he had a new girlfriend. What was the name of the place where you saw Dad at first?
It's called a contact centre. Mum and I watched a video about it online. The people who ran it were really friendly, and it was good just to see Dad on his own and play games with him. After a few visits, we all went to McDonald's afterwards, and I met Jess, didn't we? Actually, she's okay.
Yes, she is. Then Dad applied to the family court to ask the judge to make an arrangement for when we could see him, and we both thought that we would have to talk to a judge.
But it turned out that we didn't even have to go to the court. We just met Miss Velotta, the lady who told the court what was best for us.
That's right, Mrs. Velotta, the family court advisor from Kafkas. She was really kind, wasn't she? She spoke to us both separately about how we were feeling and what we wanted and then wrote it all down in a report. This helped Mum and Dad to agree what time we'd spend with each of them. They seemed to have listened to what we wanted. Then the judge made a court order setting out what Mum and Dad had agreed, all without us having to go.
Yes, and after that I started to stay over at Dad's and Jess's new house with you. And even though sometimes I still feel a little bit sad that Mum and Dad have split up, I'm feeling much, much better about everything.
Yep, me too. Do you think all children have to see someone from the court when their parents separate?
No. My friend Mina told me that her parents can just agree between themselves, or if they can't, they can see a mediator. That is someone who doesn't take sides but helps her parents to agree things without going to court. That's what Mina's parents did, and she got to speak to the mediator to tell him how she was feeling.
Oh, that sounds like a good way to sort things out, and I'm glad Mina got to speak to the mediator. It's so much better to talk about how we're feeling when we're sad or upset about something, isn't it?
Definitely. Anyway, do you want to see the rest of my dance routine? I've been practicing very hard.